Hello and welcome to the presentation on project on financial feasibility. In fact, this presentation is prepared to help you understand how to do a financial feasibility of your business idea. If you aren't really interested in the financial aspects of your business and you aren't interested in making a profit, then you are talking about a hobby, not a business. So far you have done the work and decided the business is feasible. Now you want to know whether it adds up, that is, will it be profitable? Understanding the financial aspects of business is fundamental to success. So in this presentation, I will demonstrate a business, in fact a coffee business, whether it is financially viable or not. Okay. So in order to do your viability of your business idea in the financial angle or the financial aspects of your business, then you please download this feasibility of business idea template, right? And once you complete the financial viability of your business idea, then you need to submit it here before this Friday. Okay. Now let me take you to so if you download this, the template will be something like this. Okay, so you have estimating business needs items. So you need to talk about in order to start your business idea, what are the items you require. Okay, and then specifics of these. Okay, similarly, what will be the estimating startup costs? The list of items have been already given to you. If anything is missing, you can add here in any other not listed above, right? So once you have the total investments you need to put as part of the business venture, then you need to talk about how you are going to get the income derived from this business. Okay, so this template will talk about month by month business income, right, depending on what products you are offering, right? I have given provision for 5 products. Okay, the types of products you can come out with. So suppose we talk about an online business, then what are your products? Like say if you are talking about providing some online membership, right? So what will be the price of that membership and how much memberships you are going to sell, right? Whether you are having in your online business some free membership, something like this, right? But I will be talking in terms of the coffee business. Okay, and then estimating the operating expenses based on monthly amount, and then annual amount is simply multiplied by the monthly amount. Okay, so you have been given extensive list of expenses you can expect depending on even if you are bringing in loan money, not just your own money. Okay, so those kind of expenses like bank interest and other things are also taken into consideration. Okay, the next thing is estimating your annual profit and loss account, right? So if you are talking about a manufacturing setup, you may also have cost of goods sold. Otherwise, if you are talking about a service business, then you talk about the cost of sales. Okay, so depending on if you are having a manufacturing business, you talk about value of opening stock, then plus stock purchases during the year and less the value of closing stock. Okay, then we talk about the cash flow forecast, and then finally you may add one worksheet to talk about the uh, viability of the business, that is the uh, investment to income to investment ratio, right? That is the ROI, how much time it takes to get back your amount of business. Okay, so what I have done is I've modified this template which was provided. Okay, So let me take you to that template. Okay, so taking that template into consideration, uh, what I have done is I've I've got an understanding what will be the coffee business requirements are, right? So okay, so what I've done is I've browsed the internet and various other sources to get to what are the business needs for starting a coffee business. Okay, so we want to start a coffee business, something like this in the picture. Okay, so you require different kinds of machines, right? Different kinds of utensils, right? The infrastructure. So all this you need to develop. Okay, and that's what is the business needs item. Okay, so depending on this, I've categorized items as coffee, espresso, and beverage equipment, and these are different things which we require. Okay, specifics. Then coffee refrigeration and washing equipment. Then you have coffee small wares and beverage wares. Right? So all this you will get depending on what kind of business you want to start. You get these details. Okay, coffee shop consumables, right? Disposable coffee shop supplies, right? Software and a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, when people come to my coffee shop, I need to have a Wi-Fi connection free for them so that they are getting a different kind of environment uh, which is conducive for them to do their business talks or leisure talks. Okay. So then you also require equipment cleaning and maintenance supplies, furniture and decor, right? Coffee shop water filtration. This is a very prime thing. If we talk about the tap water is not good for consumption, then you require some water filtration, small plants to take care of those aspects, right? And then you need to get in business people. That means you need to find good staff which is worthwhile, who are having the experience of managing a cafe already. Okay, and another important thing is the location. Okay, so the location can make or break your any business which you want to launch. So it's important you consider every aspect of it, right? Including the pros and cons of specific location. Then of course you require business license and food licenses. Okay, so these are my list of items which I need to launch my coffee business. Okay, so this is done based on extensive web research. Okay, so once we are doing this, then the next thing which we are going to do is estimating the startup costs. Okay, so the startup cost template is provided to you already. So you use this, like say for accounting fees, you require to use a QuickBooks, like say usually small businesses, in order to manage their accounting aspects of the business, they use a QuickBooks. Okay, so how much will be the price, all those things you are going to put the supplier details here, right? And then what will be the cost they are going to have for you. Okay, so this is the estimated expenditure I have done for the coffee business, right? Advertising, including artwork, and this is a very good website where you can find a good idea of A to Z of advertising and promotion of your small business. Okay. Then business stationery, again, you can get the design and logo done by this website. This is right. So likewise, whatever is relevant to your business, try to put it out. Like say furniture and fixtures, you can take it from Al Sharakh Furniture Company, which is a local Jeddah based office and home furnishing company which provides reasonable rates, right? And then plant and equipment purchase you can get from Kawa shop, which provides you all kinds of equipment which you have listed in the previous sheet. Okay, so likewise you are going to talk about then the stock, how much stock you require. So we say 3 to 4 months of stock you need to put, so that once your business starts, you are not curtailed of the funding. Okay, so you have to take into consideration the stock requirements at least for 3 to 4 months. Maybe in Saudi context, if you are getting your raw material or the stock from a different source like China or some other country, then you need to think about putting more kind of stock, maybe 6 to 1 years of stock, because it may take more time to get the stock. And if your business gets rolled up and you don't find stock, and then you need to close your business just because you don't have the raw materials to provide the services. Okay, so likewise you talk about what will be the cost of each of these items. Okay, so it will be something like this. Okay, so the estimated cost, these are given in dollars, US dollars. So it takes in order to start my business for a period of 4 months stock, I need roughly around $30,000 to start a good coffee shop business. Okay, cafe business. Then the next important aspect which we are going to do is, because what happens is, once you do this aspect, what is your startup cost, then you need to talk about projecting your income. So I made a template which I will be providing shortly on the Moodle website. You can use this template to make your own business viability, financial viability of your business. Uh, the earlier template is not so comprehensive. This is slightly easy for you. Uh, you use just the yellow boxes here and fill those yellow boxes, and depending on after the 6 months what will be the response, you can increase the, like say, I will just show you. Suppose we talk about the unit price uh, and the income. So here you see I have said uh, the business which I am going to start is the coffee business. So I may be talking about different kinds of coffees, right? Maybe Turkish coffee, maybe American coffee, or maybe any kind of local coffee, right? But I am talking about measuring in terms of sizes of the coffee which is being ordered by the clients. Let's say small, medium, and large, right? And also I may be keeping some cakes and sandwiches. Maybe I will get these cakes and sandwiches from a different supplier who will be providing me with this, or I may make my own cakes and sandwiches. Then it requires different kind of items you require, right? So that the startup cost will also increase subsequently. So anyhow, for the moment, we are having a tie-up with some other sandwich persons, right? Cakes and sandwiches and donuts are being provided, right? But to start with the coffee business, I'm thinking we'll start it slowly. Okay, so let's assume that the unit price is for a small cup is $1. $1 is how much? It is around 4. Okay, so let's say the small cup of coffee is costing 1 unit price. Okay, and then the medium is costing say 1.5. Okay, and the large is coming in 2. Okay, maybe you can say 1.25. All right, you can play whatever you want. Okay, so let's say I'm taking 1.25 for a small cup, 1.5, and then it is 2 for the large. Okay, then the cake and sandwiches, the unit price for cakes and sandwiches is say $5. Okay, and donuts maybe also $1. Okay, $1 means say around 4. So this is the unit price which you are going to decide depending on your product. Suppose you are going to have so many different products, then just add the worksheets, the rows here to reflect the type of products you have, right? And then you have to project how much will be your estimated sales during the first operation years, and then after 6 months what will be the sales, right? So let's assume that the quantity which we'll be selling per day is around 50, right? And then suppose we are open for 30 days in a month, so 30 into 5 is how much? So you can just say the quantity is each day 30, right? And let's say I'm open for 6 days a week. So 6 fours are 24. Okay. So 24 days are operational for 1 month, let's say. So I have quantity being sold is 720. But 30 in the beginning will be too high, so let's assume that it is only 10. Okay, so similarly we also assume the same thing here. Okay, we have say 10, we have to say is equal to 10 times 10 times 24. Okay, large coffee, let's say we are selling only 5. Okay, so 5 times 24, right? And cakes and sandwiches also, let's assume that we are selling only 5, so 5 times 24, maybe not all days these are being sold, let's say 20 days. Okay, so then you have quantity is equal to donut, maybe we are selling say 10. Okay, each day 10, and then into 24 days we are open. So this is how you are estimating your income. You can see that I have put the formulas, so that's why everything is getting projected. Now suppose after 6 months my business is going to grow, right? And these are being projected for 1 year, right? And then the sales which I am going to make through small cups and medium cup and large cup is the sale from the coffee. So I have taken the total of revenue from coffee sale, right? Then revenue from cakes, donuts and sandwiches, because these are I am getting from outside source, so I am separating the revenue coming from generating directly by our business, coffee sale, and then revenue which we are getting by bringing some other products and selling it in our coffee shop. Okay, so something like this. So you have the annual revenues, which is just the total of all the months of revenues, right? If you can see this is the total, right? Then the overall is what we are having. Now we can also take into consideration the growth rates, right? Suppose after say July, we expect that the business goes up because of its reputation of providing authentic coffee, which gives a kind of stimulating environment for the people who are coming, and a word of mouth goes about your coffee business shop, then many people are arriving. So we want to change these factors. So you can do those changes based on the growth rate after operations. Okay, let's assume that the quantity, because the quantity is going to be changed. So let's say what I do is uh, the medium, let's say medium coffee business is going to change. Okay, so I will do this. So what we have is from the previous quantity, okay, there will be a growth rate of whatever. Okay, you can play with the growth rate. So 1 plus G. Okay, so this is my growth rate. So right now the growth rate is 0, that's why it is the same. Okay, and then you can copy the formula, Control R. Okay, so the formula is copied. I think we need to put first the fix to this column, otherwise there will be a problem. Okay, so F4 to fix the growth rate column or the cell, right? And then okay, okay. So now look what happens if we change the growth rate. Okay, so you can change the growth rate and see what's happening. But this is not looking good for us. So what we do is we make decimals out. Okay, so remove the decimals. Okay, so depending on the growth rate, you see things are getting reflected. Okay, so this is how we can do the changes, right? And you see here also changes are happening, right? The total revenue annually is changing depending on the growth rate. The more the growth in sales, naturally the more will be the revenue, right? So currently I am just keeping it 0, but if you want to change, you can change it by way of this. Okay, so this will give you a kind of sensitivity to your analysis which you are going to talk about if your business grows, right? This is one thing. So once you are estimating the income, the next step is estimating the operating expenses. So let me just because there is just for example this being done, so let me just put some cost monthly amount. Let's say accounting fees is $10. Okay, administrative and office expenses, because it's not a office actually. Advertising, maybe we want to spend say $250, okay, on advertising, and we don't want to take any loan, so there will be no bank charges, bank interest, and we are not giving on credit the coffee, it is on cash sale, so there is no debt collection. Donations we don't require. Okay, insurance, okay, let's it's by law we need to take an insurance for our business shop. Let's say we need to pay every month around $75 for the insurance. Okay, leased equipment, we are not taking any leased. Legal expenses, maybe we may be taking some legal expenses, or no need in fact. Light and power, maybe uh, $50. Okay, marketing we don't require for the moment. Maintenance of plant and fixtures, let's say 150, because we have some coffee machines which takes, in fact 150 is too high, so maybe 50. Okay, motor vehicle registration we don't have. Printing, stationery, postage we don't require. Rates and property taxes, maybe we need to pay a property tax, or we take it on rent. So if you take it on rent, the monthly rent is say 500. dollars, so around $6,000 on an annual basis. Okay. The salaries and wages, suppose we take for 3 persons in our shop. One is a professional and two are assistants for him, and the total cost for them is say around 10,000 for the supervisor, 5,000, 5,000. So 20,000 real. So 20,000 divided by 4 is how much? Let's say 500. Okay, 5 4s are 20. Or maybe 500 will be less. Maybe 1200, let's say. Okay. Security, we don't have staff, superannuation, it is taken care here itself, let's say. Subscriptions, we don't have, let's say, internet, Wi-Fi we have to provide. So let's say $50 for this. Telephone, we don't require. Okay. Travel and accommodation, we don't have any other thing. Okay. So the estimated operating expenses per month is $2,000. It looks too high. So maybe we don't require that much for advertising. Let's say $100. Even 100 is more. $50 for advertising. Okay. Rent, maybe 300, 350. Okay. Okay. So around $2,000. Okay. So on a yearly basis, our operating expenses are $23,000. These are in dollars. So you can multiply by your Saudi Arabian Real conversion rate. Then once you are doing this, then we have to talk about estimating your annual profit and loss. So this is already the template takes into consideration because I have linked it the sales, right? The sales is simply adding this 2 here, right? And then bringing the revenue from coffee sale here in this worksheet. I'm linking it here. Okay, revenue from coffee sale and revenue from cakes and donuts is coming this way. Okay, so these are simply linking. So how to link? You have to just say is equal to and then go to the cell which you have. So estimating income. So this cell, enter. Okay, so you are going to link it. So once you link, you have the sales on an annual basis. Okay, and then you can see from different products what is the sale which you are getting. In fact, you can decide whether to continue this particular product or not. So this is a very good template, right? Simple and good. Then cost of goods sold. Let's say the value of opening stock, put it in startup cost as this. So we can bring it from the startup costs, the stock value of 3 months. Okay. Then you have plus stock purchases during the year. Okay, so we didn't purchase any stocks purchases during the year, or maybe you purchase some $500. Okay, then the closing stock. Let's say you are going to have nil because we are selling everything in that year. Okay. So the gross profit is this much. The operating expenses, as I said, is very high. So let's go back to the operating expenses and then re-look into that. Okay. Salaries is also looks to be heavy. Maybe we put it as 600. Okay. Rent looks to be heavy. Maybe we put 250. Okay, so 14,000. Okay, so you have a profit of 3679. So then we can, these are again projected directly. Okay, automatically this will be taken because this cash from sales, I'm just simply linking it to the different months sale. Okay, then the total estimated cash in is coming here. But suppose you have some other cash sales, you can put it here. Okay, that is one thing. Then the estimated cash out, so let me just bold this. Estimated cash out is payment for suppliers. So suppose we are paying $250 every month, we require $250. Okay, then loan we don't have, right? But if you want, you can put it. Lease payments is also not there. Whatever you want, you can put it. Okay, so cash at bank start month, let's say you have say in the initial time you have 3 months cash. So let's say 1500 cash is there with you. Okay, so these are my cash which is coming each day depending on how I do my business. Okay, and these are my cash sales and these are my supplies, and this is the cash at month end. And we are assuming that whatever cash at month end is being deposited back in the bank. Okay, so it is assumed that the cash at month end is deposited in bank at the start of the next month. Okay, so once you have the cash flow forecast, that's it. Khalas, you are able to do this. Like say, suppose you want to have a projection for the growth rate after 6 months. Again, you can do this. Okay, so depending on this, if your business goes up, so your cash outflows will also go, right? So this is how it works, right? Then the final thing which you have to talk about, whether your business is really doing good or not, whether your investment idea or the business idea is viable or not financially. We use what we call it as a startup investment ratio. So how to calculate a startup income, how to calculate income to investment ratio. So a 5-year ROI break-even is a 1.2 income to investment ratio. So to calculate this formula, we have to determine the startup's annual projected net income that we have done, and then you divide it by the total startup investment. Okay, so we will do it right away whether the coffee business is viable or not. Okay, then a higher ratio means reaching the ROI break-even point sooner. For example, a 1.6 income to investment ratio sees your money back in about half the time as a 1.2 rate of return. So remember, that's just a projection. It's always going to cost more than you think to start a cafe or restaurant business. Okay, so be conservative in the projections, and then you have to overestimate your costs. So the ultimate decision maker is you and how much risk you are willing to take. So let's do how to calculate the investment to ratio. So 1.2 is good. The greater, the better. Okay. The lower, the more riskier the business is. So let's see this cafe business, how it is equal to, I need annual projected income that we have already done in the estimating your annual. So this is my annual projected income. Okay, divide this by your startup cost. Startup cost is here. Enter. So it's coming 0.12. So it's not a good idea. Okay, to have a coffee shop business with so low sales of just 10 coffees per day. But suppose you want to increase those coffee quantities, maybe you are selling, say, 50 coffees, okay, then maybe things will be different. Okay, let's say medium coffees we are selling, say, 40, okay, and let's say large coffees we are selling, say, 15 per day, okay, and cakes and sandwiches also the same. Let's say we are selling 15 donut, let's say this also, let's say 20, okay. So now you see what will be your changes happening automatically, okay. So your profits have increased tremendously. Now see what is your startup investment ratio. See, it has become 1.76. So it's a good business. So that means the more cups you are going to sell, the greater will be the benefit you are going to derive. So it's a good business idea. So if you are able to sell 50 plus 40, 90, 90 plus 15, so 100, so around 100 coffees per day if you sell, and taking operating costs like this, right? Instead of having 3 members in the coffee shop, let's put only 2 members, one an experienced guy and one a fresher, to reduce the cost. Or maybe we can increase the cost because we are targeting, say, let's be realistic, make it 1000, okay. So even then, it's a good business opportunity. So see, it's still profitable if you are able to sell 100 coffees per day, right? You are making on a yearly basis $46,000 as profit. It's a good business. So that's why you see many coffee shops being flourishing, right? So the startup investment ratio is 1.5. So that means around it will take because it says 1.2 means it is 5 years. Okay, a 5-year ROI break even is 1.2. So since we are getting 1.6, so we can say that it is going to be half of 1.2. So that means it is 2.5 years. So you are able to recover your money. The payback period is 2.5 years. So that sounds a profitable business, definitely, right? But you have to make sure that the startup cost estimations are realistically done. I have done realistically by bringing all the information from different sources, right? And these are the Java machine, which you can get if you just see this, okay. So you can get all kinds of machines, right? The price of the machine is given, right? And it's a good time to start because they are giving some kind of discounts because of the tough times, right? So this is what you can do, okay. And similarly, if you talk about different kinds of businesses, you can get much information here, different categories of information. In fact, they are talking about delivery supplies, healthcare supplies, food safety supplies, green products. Okay, so this is for restaurant businesses, and these are Asian style, Mexican style restaurants, right? Then these are for bar supplies, buffet supplies, catering, all this. Okay, so school supplies, fast food restaurant supplies. So you can get the details of this. Right? Suppose you want to have candies, also make your own candies. You can also bring in these baking and candy molds and all this, right? And the display, right, to make it more attractive for our clients. So all these are things which you are going to web search and make your project. So all the best for your business angle, right? Financial, understanding the financial aspect of your business is uh, fundamental to success. So that's it for from my side, and hopefully you'll be able to do now your project smoothly with this template. Okay, and that's it. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.